Straight ahead on 12 News, a Robbinsdale man who went from basketball star
We so overlooked. Why can't they see the talent?
to budding musician. Plus, finding balance with sports. How much of one sport is too much? We get advice from a doctor. But first, a historic landmark, plenty of passion, and one big vote. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Robbinsdale is moving ahead with plans to bring in a Hy-Vee grocery store where the Terrace Mall now is. It means the fate of the historic Terrace Theater looks bleak after a unanimous vote by the City Council.
There was no shortage of passion from those who want to save the theater and those who say it should go. But in large part, soil on the site is determining where redevelopment can happen.
I'm here because the Terrace is a unique piece of architecture and it's part of our cultural heritage, and I don't want to see it get torn down.
Supporters of Robbinsdale's Terrace Theater came to City Hall hoping for a delay to give them more time to seek a historical designation.
The news that they wanted to start demolition at the end of September was really surprising. And we would like to persuade the council to extend the decision time for at least 60 days to re-examine.
Terrace supporters say the grocery store and the theater could coexist side by side.
And it's really an opportunity for Hy-Vee too. I mean, this building could be part of your project.
But city officials explained the Terrace Theater sits on the only soil that could accommodate the grocery store. Putting it elsewhere on the lot would add to the cost.
Theater was built where the soils made sense way back in 1951, and that hasn't changed.
Others said it's too bad, but the theater doesn't really have a viable future.
It's been sitting there for 16 years. Nobody's been able to do anything with it. There's all these pipe dreams and all these wishes.
Both sides made their case about how a big box grocery store might change the town.
Robbinsdale is a small town, and I don't want to see any of that go away, but I also want to see revenue and jobs come to Robbinsdale.
As city council members considered what to do next, it wasn't an easy vote.
I'm often the one up here who tries to find a win for everybody here, and in this one, I don't think there is one.
The vote was unanimous to approve plans favoring the redevelopment proposal.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's also not the end of this story.
This isn't a rubber stamp tonight. Done deal, move on, build a square box. There's a lot of things that we're going to be working with Hy-Vee to make a Robbinsdale Hy-Vee.
The Terrace Theater closed in 1999. The Robbinsdale City Council is expected to vote on the final plans for the land on August 23rd. If approved, all the buildings, including the Terrace Mall, would be demolished.
And the group that's trying to save the Terrace Theater is not giving up its fight. The group points out the council still needs to vote on the demolition. The teardown could occur at the end of September. It may also pursue legal avenues and perhaps something more extreme.
We have very passionate supporters, and we have people who have never been inside the theater who are talking about, chaining themselves up on September 29th to the building to make sure, the wrecking ball doesn't come through. I wouldn't say it's a formalized movement or anything, but there are people who say they will do it.
The group started last year with its efforts to get the theater listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It also looked into purchasing the theater site, but learned the property owner, New York-based Blackstone Group, wanted to sell the entire Terrace Mall property, not just the theater site. A National Night Out celebrations are already underway in some cities.
The annual event helps to bring police and neighbors together. Reporter Sonia Goins is in Maple Grove, where a National Night kickoff party is underway. Hi, Sonia.
Mike and Alex, organizers say they expect the turnout to be much larger than in previous years. With the recent police shootings both nationally and locally, they're expected to see more people coming to show support for law enforcement. Once they get here, there'll be plenty of things for them to see and do. Maple Grove police are giving squad tours. The fire department is also showing off fire trucks. Folks can also see demonstrations by rescue dogs. But the most popular event seems to be the Sink a Cop in a Dunk Tank. Officials are hoping these events will help form a closer bond with the community.
It just gets the community
out here and sees us in a different role. We're having fun, we're in the dunk tank, and the kids get to see us that we're human and we can interact with them at a different level, just sitting behind a squad car.
Maple Grove police say they're also seeing an increase in open house events. Last year they had 164, this year over 180. So it's going to be a busy night for Maple Grove police. In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Thanks, Sonia. Election filings begin today for several open city council and school board seats. In Plymouth, 3 council seats are up for election. In Maple Grove, there's 2 open council seats, and in Osseo, there's 3 available seats, including the mayor. Election filings also begin today for 3 open seats for both the Osseo and Robbinsdale school boards.
Here's a way to reduce your trash and pocket a few dollars. Hennepin County would like to reduce the garbage that comes through by the ton every day by boosting recycling. So officials are looking for 50 families to take part in a study called the Zero Waste Challenge. For 1 year, the families would keep track of the amount of trash and recycling that they generate.
We're capturing some recyclables, but we're also missing a lot. There's still a lot of recycled materials in the waste stream. So obviously our households, even though they're making an effort to recycle, unfortunately they're not recycling as much as they can.
Families would also get a $350 stipend for their year-long effort. The results of the study would be used to develop future waste reduction programs. You can apply online at Hennepin County's website. With the new school year approaching, it is the time of year when young athletes get sports physicals before the fall season begins.
Something doctors will screen for are injuries caused by overuse, which can happen if a child chooses to specialize in a single sport and play year-round. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland takes a look at the dangers of specializing in a sport at a young age.
Ball in, ball in.
Softball season is generally in the spring.
There you go, good rip.
But that's not the case for the Diamond Divas, a team made up of girls from the Northwest Metro who, if they so choose, can play the game year-round.
Yes, we have a few players on the team that play softball year-round. There are other girls that play multiple sports that's on the team as well.
Coach KJ Johnson is a former athlete himself, and not only is he open to the idea of the girls on his team playing multiple sports, he encourages it.
I always instruct the player and the parent to make sure that she's not overusing her muscles or being over athletic in that one specific area. Have her try other things.
According to doctors from TRIA Orthopedic, not enough young athletes follow that lead.
Sports specialization has become more and more common with all of the sports, and part of that is just because of the crazy youth sports culture that we have created.
Dr. Heather Bergeson practices pediatric sports medicine, and she says if kids specialize in a sport before the age of 13 or 14, they're more likely to suffer from overuse injuries because their bodies aren't ready for it.
The worst part of my job, though, is having to tell a kid that I've got to shut you down. You have a stress reaction or a stress fracture in your bone, and we have to shut you down and not have you play in your sport. But it's absolutely a conversation that I have every day.
Here you go.
For any Diamond Divas players who choose to play year-round, Coach KJ has a method to avoid the burnout factor.
I know players on my team play minimum of 3 positions, so they won't get too bored with one position.
It's one technique to help keep the game fun and hopefully injury-free. In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And potential signs of overuse or burnout among young athletes include pain that persists after several days of rest or feigning an injury simply because they're tired of playing. Well, coming up, from hoop dreams to making music, meet a Robbinsdale man whose life has taken a winding road.
And then a little bit later in sports, we'll catch up with the former Wayzata High School soccer standout who's now prepping for a big senior year of collegiate soccer.
But first, remaining hot and muggy on Wednesday. Lawrence McKenzie is only 31 years old, but has already done some amazing things.
McKenzie played basketball at the University of Minnesota and now is cranking out rap songs. Here's 12 News reporter Eric Nelson.
From the barn to First Avenue, Robbinsdale's Lawrence McKenzie has performed on the court and on the stage.
A lot of people grow up wanting to play for the Gophers. Like, a lot of people grow up wanting to sell out first half, and I was able to do 2 already.
McKenzie is a former U of M star who once had NBA hoop dreams.
Like, I remember when I first seen LeBron James and I heard about him and I played against him, the first thing I said to him, like, you ain't that good. Like, you know, because I wanted it. I was like, let's get it started. Like,
McKenzie even played in the NBA D-League, in the same arena as the LA Lakers.
We were right there. We were same locker room as guys like Kobe, seeing Phil Jackson all the time.
But McKenzie gave up basketball in 2011 because of a serious hip injury, which is when he had a career epiphany.
I always loved music.
Why can't they see the talent?
Now he is a rapper who goes by the moniker Max Irv. Growing up in North Minneapolis, McKenzie felt the musical tug as a youngster.
My street was filled with musical artists and musical genius.
The neighborhood shaped his rap message.
Jimmy Jam's father, Cornbread Harris, right across the street from me, and, you know, like, and Prince grew up like right across Osseo Highway, so.
McKenzie's road to rap has not been easy.
It's been an amazing journey, and it's been a challenge. I like challenges.
He has encountered many skeptics, but McKenzie is confident he is forging a successful path.
I just feel like we're at a point where things are really, really, really about to take off.
McKenzie's trademark is persistence.
The number one thing is I just never gave up. Even in times where I was like down or I was a little bit unsure, I just kept practicing, kept going. I just think as long as you keep going, you can achieve anything you want to.
In Robbinsdale, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
McKenzie will appear at the upcoming Somerset Festival in Wisconsin. Coming up, the Pokemon Go craze to the rescue in Brooklyn Park.
We'll explain on that in a moment, but first, local Legion baseball team looks to keep their summer going as they head off to regional play. John Jacobson has that and more next in sports. A long bus trip for one baseball team, but they should be ready to play come game time. They get a little extra season.
A little longer to play this week, and yeah, happy about that, but long bus ride today, no doubt. Wayzata's American Legion baseball team didn't win the state tournament again this year as they had in 2015. However, they are advancing on to play in regional play in North Dakota. Just after 6 a.m. Tuesday, the team boarded a coach bus for the Central Plains Regional Tournament in Bismarck. Coaches found out Sunday morning that Woodbury Blue was not going to be able to send enough players for a team to regionals. Ironically, Woodbury ended up winning the state tournament, beating Forest Lake in the final. But the odd situation meant that whichever team finished third at state, in this case Wayzata, would earn the second berth in the regional tournament.
I told them just so we knew exactly what was at stake, and we came out and played really well both games, specifically in the Hamlin Purple game, who beat us 2 days earlier. We really hit the ball well. And, you know, yesterday morning there's probably like a little bit of satisfaction that we were already moving on. We didn't really play our best. But, you know, that's the nice thing about this weekend is it doesn't really matter if we went undefeated all year or how we get there. Once we're there, it's a fresh start.
Wayzata faces Creighton Prep of Omaha in the first round Wednesday morning, a team they beat at the Gopher Classic last month. The top Champions Tour golfers are arriving in town for the annual 3M Championship. The tournament that started back in 1993 as the Burnett Senior Classic is back at the TPC course in Blaine for the 16th time. The 54-hole tournament gets underway on Friday morning, but before that, there are 4 days of Pro-Am events that started on Monday.
We had 18 groups out here for that, and then today we have a ladies Pro-Am, so we've got 9 pros out here playing with executives from the Twin Cities area, and then Wednesday, Thursday are our Pro-Am days where all the pros are out during that time, and they start at 7, tee times go till 9, and then they start again at noon and go till about 2 o'clock on both days.
We'll have more on the championship later this week on 12 News. Kenny Perry is the two-time defending tournament champion. As summer starts to wind down, we're bringing back our series The Next Level, where we profile local student athletes who are now competing in college. This week, Jason Malillo profiles Wayzata graduate and Minnesota State Mankato senior-to-be, Kiana Nickel.
Kiana Nickel is that rare student athlete that made an almost seamless transition to the college level.
You know, as a freshman, you're just kind of tossed in with the bunch during preseason and kind of expected to learn the ins and outs of the previous team, the returning players, and once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun to play with the girls that have been there, and that faster speed of play is a lot of fun once you get the hang of it.
The hardest thing for Nicola at the next level was learning to play a more physical style of soccer. But with hard work and the help of teammates and coaches, Nicola adapted.
It's for sure an adjustment. I'm by no means the biggest or strongest player out there. Just like high school, I was tossed around a lot. The girls in college are definitely a lot bigger and stronger. But I think kind of learning how to push back a little bit and getting a little feisty here and there. I definitely like to do that.
Nickel credits her experience at Wayzata High School with helping her make the transition to college soccer. Nickel played for Tony Pesnecker and helped the Trojans to back-to-back state titles in her junior and senior seasons.
Kind of looking back now, the coaches my freshman year, they continued to tell me that I was one of the most fit coming in, and I don't take that credit. I owe it all to Wayzata and Tony and everything that he did for me in this program, and I definitely would not be where I am today without this program.
Nickel will graduate this spring with a degree in speech pathology and plans to go to grad school after that. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
And Kiana will return to play soccer this year at Mankato. The Mavericks made it to the Division II Sweet 16 last year. So good luck to her in her final year of college soccer.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a Pokemon Go player stumbles upon a pretty cool find.
And we'll show you when we come back.
And finally, the Pokemon Go craze is credited with helping to find a lost dog.
This is Louie, a foster dog taken in by the animal rescue group No Dog Left Behind. The coonhound went missing about 2 weeks ago in Brooklyn Park, and his caretaker, Emily Stevens, posted pictures on Facebook and in her neighborhood. Volunteers even set out live traps with motion sensor cameras. But a man playing Pokemon Go spotted Louie and called Emily. Pokemon Go stop was at an abandoned church off 85th Avenue. Emily says she doesn't think the dog would have been found if the man hadn't been playing Pokemon Go. So there you go.
There you go. There's another side to the game, right?
Exactly. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.